Hi, Wilkut Common Yogis. Amy DiLillo here, yoga therapist and meditation teacher. Welcome to Gentle Yoga. Let's imagine we are all joined together in real life and in the meantime, virtually. If you'd like to use some essential oil, today I'm using wild orange and peppermint, if that appeals to you. It's very stimulating for the brain, very uplifting. So feel free to use some of that if you wish. If you'd like to add music, you can, and you have Spotify. I'm setting mine up right now. You can use Buddha Lounge 2 if that appeals to you, or any type of music that you prefer to use to practice too. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Feel free to do the same on your end. And do make sure that you gather some props. So you may wish to have a chair that you can use for a little bit of stability from our standing poses. You may wish to grab blocks or hardback books if you don't have blocks at home. Make sure you get a full body towel, or a pillow or blanket, and also a washcloth or a yoga strap, or a hand towel. Any of those can work. We're going to work today on stimulating our digestive system and also helping to keep our ribs and lungs open for deeper breaths. Make sure you have some water handy. Take sips whenever you need to. And let's go ahead and make our way to a standing position. Gather your props if you need them. And make your way to standing. Bring your feet hips distance apart. Create alignment from heels to hips to shoulders. Guide your ears over shoulders. Lift to your crown. Bring one hand to your heart and the other hand to your belly. Come into your breath here. And if you feel comfortable, take a moment to close your eyes, soften your face, soften jaw and shoulders. Really begin to observe where your breath is moving within your body right now. If you notice any areas where the breath is not moving quite as fluidly, just gently guide your awareness there and try to direct your breath to move a little more deeply into all these spaces around our muscles, tissues, and bones of respiration. Taking as much time as you need here to observe the natural state and quality of your breath right now. And invite this check-in multiple times throughout your day, at least 3 times per day, if not more often, just to observe where your breath is moving and make any shifts or changes to deepen your breath. This will improve your breath capacity as you move forward with this practice. So from your natural breath, we'll shift into 3-part or diaphragmatic breathing. So maybe you'll keep one hand at your belly. Maybe you'll shift another hand to your lower or side ribs. Our 3-part breath consists of us inhaling, lifting the belly away from the spine, filling lower lungs, filling upper lungs, and exhaling in reverse, ending with a squeeze of the belly towards the spine. Invite expansiveness here, especially at your lower rib area. So our diaphragm is deeply embedded beneath these bones. So really invite your breath to move outward as you inhale, to move up and down, to move side to side, top to bottom. Feel your breath moving. Enjoying your 3-part breath throughout our practice. And then maybe you're bringing awareness, perhaps you're shifting the placement of your hands to your heart center. Let's tune in and set our sankalpa, our deeply held intention. So maybe it is one of health and wellness. Maybe it's one of gratitude. I am grateful, I'm healthy, I'm strong. Tune in, set yours now. Repeat that in your mind 3 times. And then from here, whenever you're ready, allow your left arm to just release or maybe come gently onto your side waist. Using the heel of our right hand, We'll gently press inward with the heel of the right hand in the space above our belly button. Envision a clock around your navel center. We're going to move to your left. If that were 1 o'clock, you keep moving 2, 3, 4, all the way around. Very gently creating this internal organ self-massage. So moving to the rhythm of your breath. So slow and steady here. You can take your feet a little wider than hips distance apart if that feels better in your body. Really invite this movement through your breath, or movement of your hands to the rhythm of your breath. You can press as deeply or as gently as you would like. Our objective here is to invite a gentle external stimulation of our digestive system. Beautiful. You can stay here as long as you'd like, maybe bringing both hands very gently, applying that very gentle pressure, just touching here. Now let's come back to heel to hip to shoulder alignment. Guide your ears over your shoulders. Bring fingertips up onto the tops of your shoulders and begin to roll your shoulders on the breath. So we're inhaling forward and skyward, exhaling back and down, feeling the shoulder blades gliding along either side of the spine. Beautiful motions here. Good, maybe we'll stay here, or maybe we'll begin to move through the elbows. So our shoulders are still moving here. Notice what feels best to you. Still inhaling forward, exhaling back and down, inviting that movement through the shoulder blades. Perhaps here your head will stay in neutral. We want to keep our crown reaching skyward throughout this practice. But maybe as we begin to glide the elbows back and down, we'll look over one shoulder. Inhaling forward, exhaling, looking over the opposite shoulder. Breath to motion connection. Inviting that stretch through the neck, through the throat. Beautiful work. Beautiful movement. And then let's come back to neutral, releasing our arms. Let's keep our feet, our legs, hips distance apart as we next exhale. Let's bend our legs, bring our hands resting on our thighs, avoiding the knees. And you can stay right where you are. I'll give you different views, different viewpoints. Soften the shoulders, lift up and out through the crown. From this position of neutral, we'll breathe in and out in our cat backs. Cat and cow, actually. So exhale, scoop the belly. This is our cat back. Inhale, reverse the curve of the spine for cow back. As we're here, I want you to really activate that squeezing between the shoulder blades. You might even lift your arms. Exhaling, cat back. Inhaling, cow back. Maybe we're lifting the arms there. You decide, move in a way that feels best to you. Good. And then let's come back to neutral, coming into our supported chair. Maybe we're sinking our sitting bones back and down just a little bit more. Maybe we're alternately elevating our heels on the breath. We may wish to come up to a tabletop or the edge of a chair. You're in your own space, so move in a way that is supportive. Or maybe we're staying right here and elevating both of our heels. So finding a focal point, a drishti point in front of us. Keep the shoulders soft, keep the crown lifted. Keep moving your breath. And whenever you're ready on your next exhalation, release your heels, release your arms. Inhale, extended mountain, maybe a back bend. Exhaling, coming back to our supported chair. So we'll flow here on the breath. Maybe we're taking our arms a little more forward. Maybe we're reaching them actively forward. You decide. Inviting movement through the whole of the body here. Connecting breath with motion. So we're inhaling on the way up, maybe gazing up. Exhaling, swan diving the arms back and down. Let's meet on our next inhalation, sweeping the heels of the hands to the lower back. So squeeze shoulder blades towards one another. Our thumbs are pointed outward here. Keeping our hips over the heels, let's lift our heart, lift our gaze skyward. Let's gently release the back bend. Hands come onto our hips. Let's exhale, bend our legs. We'll come into a sweeping, flowing spinal twist. So option one, hands come onto the thighs. Inhaling, lifting through elbow or arm. Our gaze can come up as well. Exhaling back to forward fold. Inhale up opposite side. So this is a nice, gentle option, keeping hands on thighs, avoiding the knees. For some of us, maybe we'll come to a chair, a tabletop to come into that twist. Or maybe we'll go a little more deeply. Maybe we're taking our blocks or books beneath our hands. And deeper still, for some of us, if it is comfortable in our back body, maybe we'll take our hands all the way down to the mat space. Make this shape, this flow your own. Good, still connecting our breath with our motion. You're doing great. And let's pause wherever we are. Once we find alignment, walk your hands back up onto your thighs. So we're coming back to that supported chair. Sitting bones sink back and down, shoulders soft, our chin is tucked. We're reaching our crown away from the tailbone. Maybe we're staying here in neutral. We can play with a bit of balance again by alternately elevating our heels, maybe fully elevating the heels. That's one option if we'd like to work on balance today. If we prefer to have a little more motion through our trunk, our torso, release the heels down and come into cat and cows. Beautiful. Let's come back to neutral. Release our arms. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhaling, mountain pose. Find your body's alignment. Bring the heels of the hands to the lower back. Hips over heels. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. And let's exhale, release our back bend. We'll come into some lateral flexion. So we want to open our side bodies as we continue to warm our bodies into this flow. So we'll do just one side at a time so that we have some options. So go ahead and shift your weight. We're going to keep our weight on both feet. Feet can be hips distance apart, or maybe our feet are right next to one another. Arms can be at our sides, or maybe hands are coming onto the side waist. So we'll begin by opening through the left side of the body. We can inhale, arcing up and over, exhaling, coming back to neutral. So this is option one. Of course, we can always come up to a chair or countertop to come into this flow. If we'd like a little more sensation, keeping our feet closer together, we would shift our weight to the right foot, step our left foot to the outside of the right foot, realign the body, shoulders over hips, and then we would continue with our flow here. Good. Continue breath to motion connection, warming our body, keeping our feet evenly connected to the mat space here. Gaze forward or downward. Downward is a little more grounding. Skyward gaze, more of a balance challenge. Beautiful. Let's stay in this lateral flexion stretch wherever we've chosen to pause, and then we can bend our arm or keep it straight. Let's circle through the shoulder girdle, a little bit in each direction. Keep your head reaching away from, or your crown rather, reaching away from your tailbone. Good. Pause. Let's come back to center. Slide our hands down onto our thighs. Let's take in a few more cat and cows. Really breathing into the body. Coming into neutral, release our arms. Inhale, extended mountain, maybe a back bend. Exhaling, coming back to mountain pose. Take a moment to readjust, realign your body. We'll come into our flowing lateral flexion on the other side. So feet hips distance apart, maybe right next to each other, or maybe now your right foot is placed on the outside of the left foot. Realign shoulders and hips, lift through the crown. Whenever you're ready, inhaling, lifting up, arcing over. Adjust your gaze. Really inviting your full range of motion here. Beautiful work. Let's go a few more times. And know that you can pause whenever you'd like to, whenever you need to. It's your practice. And whenever you're ready, come into this held lateral flexion. Make sure all of your toes are squeezing into the mat space, and then invite some circling through the shoulder girdle. Arms bent, upper arm bent or straight, whatever invites that beautiful range of motion through your shoulder. As you're ready, come back to neutral. Release your feet to hips distance apart. Let's roll both of our shoulders simultaneously. Beautiful grand gestures of rolling, of opening. Lovely. All right, so now we're going to come into Flight of the Bird. So this is a really nice way to continue to create internal heat through the body. I'll show you a side view and a front view as well. So we'll come into mountain stance. We can have our chair in front of us, the tall back of the chair if we'd like. Our feet are hips distance apart. We're finding our drishti point, which is a Sanskrit word for focal point or gaze point in front of us. Feet hips distance. Find your drishti, shift your weight onto your right foot. Exhale, step your left foot back, left heel slightly and returned. We'll inhale, come back to forward facing, mountain, exhale, come into your warrior one stance on the other side. So we're inhaling forward, exhaling back, alternating feet. One or both hands can stay on the chair. Or maybe we're bringing our hands to our hips, exhaling back, inhaling forward. Keep your core strong. Maybe we'll stay right here. We'd like to add a little more to this. Maybe we're sweeping one or both arms back, exhaling them forward. Another variation is we can give ourselves a hug at the step forward, reach back with cactus arms, alternating which arm is on top. Beautiful work. Nice. Balance out both sides. Bring your body back to mountain stance. Lifting hips distance apart. Find your body's alignment. Soften your shoulders, lift through your crown. We'll come into a held lateral flexion. So you can choose either side. We're lifting up, we're arcing over. Soften the shoulders. Remember, a downward gaze is always more grounding. Try to press both shoulder blades into an imaginary wall behind you. Let's gently come back to center. Realign your body, soften the shoulders, lift through the crown. Whenever we're ready, we'll lift up and arc over, opposite side. Keep reaching through the crown. Soften your jaw. Keep the breath deep and smooth. Beautiful. Let's come back to center. Realign your body. Lift through the crown. Sweep your arms forward to the sides and back. Bring the heels of the hands to the lower back. Keep hips over heels as you lift and open your front body. into a standing camel. Squeeze your toes into the mat space. Breathe deeply into your body. And let's exhale and release our back bend. So let's go ahead and grab onto either a washcloth or a hand towel or a yoga strap if you have one. So we're going to work on some options of chest expansion. So you can take your hand towel and maybe you're rolling it up a bit, and you can just place it around your neck so that it's handy and in reach for you. So come to the top of your mat, come into your mountain, feet hips distance apart, find your drishti. Let's shift our weight onto the right foot. We'll elevate the left heel, maybe the whole of the left leg, keep the core strong. Whenever you're ready, step the left foot back, come into your warrior one. So we always can use the tall back of the chair. Our right knee is over the right heel. Our feet are a little bit wider than hips distance apart. This can give a greater feeling of stability to the body. We are creating a firmer foundation. So heart and belly are forward facing, shoulders over hips, lifting through the crown. Breathe deeply into your body. You may wish to stay here and not use the towel at all. Maybe you're just reaching your hands back for a chest expansion. Or maybe you're taking the towel or strap and grasping onto it with your hands. Allow your palms to face one another and then lift your connected arms behind you. Maybe you're staying here forward facing. Maybe you're lifting your heart and gaze skyward. Keep lifting your connected arms. Keep your breath deep and smooth here, inviting that lift through the front of your rib cage. Let's gently release any back bends. Release the chest expansion. Let's keep the strap in our right hand or the towel, and we'll come into a cow face from here. So keep your lower body where it is within your warrior one. Take your towel or strap in your right hand above your head. Bend your right arm so your right elbow is facing towards the ceiling and your right palm is facing the back of the head. Your left palm faces away from your body, coming behind and grasping onto the towel. So I'll give you a back view here. And our hands might be really close together. We may not need to use the towel at all. They might be really far apart. Wherever it is comfortable for your body, open your heart center, squeeze between your shoulder blades. Maybe your front leg is staying bent. Maybe you're straightening it. Maybe you're adding a back bend. Keep your breathing smooth. Let's gently release any back bends, bending the front leg. We can place our towel around the neck or off to the side. Let's inhale, straighten the front leg. Maybe our arms are lifting as well. And exhale, open into warrior two. So adjust your feet. So now we can have heel to heel alignment. Our right knee is over the right heel. Our left heel is the furthest point away from the body. Adjust your shoulders so that they're over your hips. Lift through your crown. Hands can stay close at heart center, or maybe we're reaching outward. Spread your fingers nice and wide. But bring your awareness right to that navel center all the way around your core, around your midsection. Glide your torso forward and exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Beautiful work, keeping our midsection strong. Let's glide the torso forward, releasing our arms, coming into extended angle. Lots of options. Choose the one that works for you. Front hand can be on the thigh. Maybe it's your forearm. Stack shoulders over the hips. Maybe the top arm stays on the side body, or we might reach through the elbow or the whole of our arm. Keep reaching your crown away from your tailbone. A downward gaze is more grounding. Stay with your breath. We're using the chair. Some of us might have our front hand on the chair. It's another variation. There's lots of choices here. Stay safe in your body. Maybe you're bending the arm or keeping it straight and adding some circling through the top shoulder again. Keep your head strong, your neck strong. Maybe circling, maybe you're lifting, maybe you're adding a flow, reaching your top arm back. Exhaling, reaching forward and scooping under the front leg. Yogi's choice. Let's meet on our next inhalation. Moving from our core, let's inhale and lift. Come back to warrior two. Soften your shoulders. Front palm can face the sky. We might stay here. Or maybe we're coming to reverse warrior. Arms reaching in opposite directions. Our top arm can always be bent, reaching skyward through the elbow. Reach your crown away from your tailbone. Keep your neck and throat nice and long. So again, we can keep our arms in stillness here, or maybe we're adding that circling. Maybe it's with the arm bent or straight, a little bit in each direction. Inviting space through our ribs, allowing us to get even deeper breaths each time we inhale. Let's pause here, reach your arms in opposite directions. Exhaling, coming back to warrior two, soften the shoulders. Engage the core, shift your weight onto your front leg, adjust your back heel and toes to forward facing. We're back to warrior one now. Heart and belly forward facing, core is strong. Set your intention on mountain pose at the top of the mat. Maybe you're taking a few steps to get there, or maybe it's one big step, you decide. We're back at mountain. Maybe we're taking a pause here and checking back in with our breath, noticing where it's moving. Once we've explored that a bit, we may wish to stay there longer, or maybe we'll come into a few cat and cows. Yogi's choice. Let's neutralize the spine, release our arms, inhale, extended mountain, maybe a back bend. Let's exhale, coming back to mountain pose. Let's grab our strap or towel if we choose to use that. Gently placing it around the neck or wherever it's handy. Come back into your mountain stance. Find your drishti point. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Peel, maybe lift your right foot. Set your intention on your warrior one and make your way back. So slightly wider than hips distance apart, placement of our feet, heart and belly forward facing. Check that your left knee is over the heel and you're elongated through your torso, through your spine. Make sure you have a nice, stable foundation through your feet, and that will stabilize all the way up. Feel free to grab your towel or strap. And maybe we'll grab onto the towel, a little bit wider placement of the hands this time. Palms face inward, squeeze shoulder blades, lifting your connected arms. Keep lifting through your crown. You might wish to add a back bend. Maybe not today, you decide. And let's exhale and release. Bringing our towel back on the neck. Make sure we have stability here. We'll come into a cow face. So taking the strap or towel in our left hand now, bending the left arm, right palm faces away from us, reaching back and grabbing onto the towel. So I'll give a back view of this again. So just make sure it's on the opposite side for you. Your shoulders and hips are in alignment, staying right here, squeezing shoulder blades. Maybe your front leg will stay bent. Maybe you're straightening it. Maybe you're lifting up and back and adding a back bend here. You decide. As we exhale, let's gently release our back bend, releasing our strap or towel, taking it off to the side. We'll make our way into warrior two. Arms at our sides, hands at our hearts. Maybe our arms are lifted skyward. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, open to your right. So coming into your warrior two. Check that we have heel to heel alignment, tail and crown are in alignment, shoulders and hips are aligned, and really activate length and strength through the whole body. Setting your foundation first and foremost through the feet. Front knee is over the heel, actively reaching the arms, lift through the crown. Let's glide our torso forward and back. Beautiful motion through your body. Gliding forward, front palm faces the sky. Inhale, reverse warrior. Maybe arm is straight, maybe it's bent. We can circle here. A little bit in each direction. Or actively reaching arms in opposite directions. Let's exhale, warrior two, realign, restack shoulders over hips, glide your torso forward. Let's find our extended angle. Front hand can come onto the thigh. Maybe it's your forearm, stack shoulder over shoulder. Top arm can rest on the side body. Maybe we're lifting through elbow or arm. And we've been here before. So maybe you're circling here with the top shoulder and arm. Maybe you're coming into a flow, inhaling up and back, exhaling as you scoop. Find the movement or the held shape that resonates with you. Give your body what it needs. Let's meet in our extended angle, soften the shoulders. Set your intention on warrior two or maybe reverse warrior. You decide. We can pause here or maybe we're flowing and coming all the way into our reverse warrior. Breathe into your body. Arms are reaching outward in opposite directions. Now let's come back to warrior two, softening the shoulders. As we inhale, straighten the front leg. Let's bring hands onto our hips, adjusting our feet so that our toes are outward turned. Imagine a wall behind you. Exhale, slide your back body down that imaginary wall. Let's inhale, lifting our arms, straightening our legs. Exhale, squeeze elbows into our ribs. Inhaling up and out, exhaling as we squeeze. Let's meet here. Legs bent. Maybe we're widening our stance. You decide what feels right to you. Let's bring hands to our hearts or hands on our side waist. We'll come into some flowing spinal twist from here. So exhale, twisting to either side. Inhale forward. Exhale, other side. Keep reaching crown away from the tailbone. If your legs need a break, you can inhale forward. Exhale, twist. Good. Let's make our way back to center. Legs can be straight or bent, fingertips touching. Maybe we're clasping our hands. As you exhale, press your palms forward, arms bent or straight. Stay with your breath. Maybe you're elevating one heel. Stay with your breath, holding the pose. Releasing that heel. Inhale, lift opposite heel. Lift your arms is another option. Keep shoulders soft. Can you dip your hips a little lower? Still keeping your hips higher than your knees. Beautiful. Release the heels. Release our arms. Maybe sweeping arms behind us. And then exhaling hands to heart center. As you next inhale, straighten your legs. Let's walk our feet back to hips distance apart. Maybe we're stepping them there, whatever feels best. And we're going to work on some balancing next. So Warrior 3 is what I would like to have us work on. So maybe you will adjust the placement of your chair. Or maybe you're taking your blocks close by. So those are the items, the objects you might want to have close at hand. So we'll begin in mountain pose in front of our chosen items. Keep your torso long, and we're very strong through our core. Let's bend our knees, hinge through the hips as you release your body into a forward fold, and allow for your hands to come onto the chair or the blocks. You decide. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Step your left foot back. So it might mean your left toes are touching. Or maybe you're elevating your left leg. So we want heel to hip alignment. It might be lower than that, but we want to avoid going higher than that. Soften your shoulders. Keep reaching tail and crown in opposite directions. If your hands are down on your blocks, then obviously your shoulders would be lower than your hips. Your hands might be all the way down on the mat or floor space. Whatever works for you. Be safe in your body. Safety first. Notice if your breath is still moving here. As we're ready, let's bend our front leg, release our elevated leg, and bring our feet back to hips distance apart. Bring hands on the thighs. Lift your torso. Maybe from here, you're coming into a few cat and cows. Maybe you're staying there. Maybe you're coming into extended mountain, a little back bend. Whenever you're ready, exhale, come back into your forward fold. Hands on the thighs, hands on the chair, or maybe hands on your blocks. Yogi's choice. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Begin to elevate your right heel. Maybe you're stepping back with right toes. This is balancing. Or maybe you're elevating somewhere between the floor and heel to hip alignment. Hands on the chair or down onto the block, you decide. Soften your jaw. Keep reaching crown away from the tailbone. Heart and belly are still facing, pointing downward. Keep your breath strong and smooth. Maybe staying here longer, but when you're ready, bending the standing leg, releasing our elevated leg down. Bring hands onto the thighs. We're coming into supported chair. Maybe you're adding a few cat and cow stretches. Beautiful work. Make your way into extended mountain or extended mountain. We can lift through our arms. Fingertips can touch. Maybe we're clasping our hands, lifting our arms up. Soften the shoulders. Let's exhale, releasing our arms, circling through our wrists. So the duration of our class will spend down on the mat space. So take a moment to bring your blocks and your towels, if you have them, or blankets close by. Adjust your device however you need to make sure that you have visibility of your device and your teacher. So we're going to make our way down onto the mat. Lovely. Let's go ahead and take our legs outward. Good. All right, so our legs are outstretched. Our toes are pointed towards the ceiling. We might have a bend in our legs, or maybe our legs are straight. We want our shoulders over hips, our ears over our shoulders. If we're feeling a lot of sensation, we can stay right here. If we'd like to add to that sensation and it is appropriate for our bodies, maybe we're bending our legs very slightly. So I have a slight bend in my legs here, and I'm hinging forward through my hips. So I might choose to take my blocks beneath my legs, my knees, the bend of the knees, and support them there as I hinge forward. Our toes are pointed skyward. Keep the breath deep and smooth. Notice if you can reach your crown away from the tailbone and still soften the shoulders. Our arms might be bent. Allow your torso to come as far forward as what your range of motion allows. And that information will come from your ball and socket joints of your hips. As we inhale, let's slowly lift our torso, walking our hands closer to our hips. Let's bend our legs, releasing any props off to the side. Let's bring our feet up onto the mat, a little wider than hips distance apart. We can take palms or fists behind us. Lift through your crown, and let's add just a little windshield wiping here, a little bit in each direction. Beautiful. Let's come back to center. We'll make our way all the way down onto the mat. But before you do, you may want to just take a look at this shape. So we're going to be coming into Crescent Pose. So our body will be laid out straight and long, and we're bringing the whole of our body into a held side body stretch. So we'll come down, maybe coming to our side first, coming to reclined. Taking a moment to make sure that we have heel to hip, hip to shoulder alignment. If the back of the head is not comfortably touching the mat space, then take a gentle blanket to just bring the floor to meet your head. We want to avoid over crunching through the chin. We want to bring our head, neck, and shoulders into as much neutrality as we can. So we'll begin this crescent shape with our legs. So walk your legs to your right, your range of motion. I want you to visualize a crescent moon, and we're trying to create that through our bodies. So my right foot is to the right, my left foot is next to it, or maybe I am placing my left ankle on top of the right ankle. So I'm awakening the left side of the body. Reach arms up and overhead. Take your right hand, grasp onto your left forearm, and slide the top half of your body to the right. So now the whole of my left side body is open like a crescent moon or like a banana laying on its side on your countertop. Our gaze can be skyward, to the right or to the left. So giving our cervical spine, our neck a nice stretch and twist. Notice here if you can soften your jaw. Really invite breath into your left side ribs and lungs. Keep your breath moving. And this is your practice, so maybe you'll stay here longer if that feels best to you. Maybe you'll bring your head to neutral, you'll release your arms, walk your shoulders back in alignment with the hips, and then releasing the legs. We're going to stay on the same side here and come directly into a twist. So check again that shoulders and hips, tail and crown are aligned. Let's T-shape our arms. And option one is to simply release our knees to the right. We can prop with our blanket or pillow beneath or between the legs. Maybe we're coming back to center, bringing our knees right next to each other. And here I'm guiding my knees a little closer towards my chest. This would be a deeper twist, coming all the way over to the right. And yogi's choice. Maybe you're taking your pillow or your towel or blanket between the knees. That can take a little bit of the edge off. Left arm can reach to the side, or maybe our left arm is reaching up alongside the left side of the head. Again, our gaze, our closed eye gaze can be skyward, to the right, or to the left. Soften your jaw. Soften your face. Really invite your breath to move through your body. Notice where you are in space. All the different locations of your limbs. Make any adjustments that allow you to find a little more ease in this twist. Really inviting space into the side body. So our theme today was for digestion and lung function. So again, we can stay right here. Maybe we're bringing our closed eye gaze skyward. We can release any props, core engaged, lift one leg at a time, and make your way back to center, shoulder to hip, tail to crown alignment. We can hug our knees in, grasping behind the knees, or maybe over the shins. I find behind the knees to be just a little gentler for our knees. Maybe we're rocking from right to left. Perhaps we're neutral with our back. Another variation here is to grab onto our shins. Maybe our pinky or our hands are grasping onto our big toes. So peace fingers on big toes or the soles of the feet. We do want to keep head, backs of the shoulders, and our lower back on the mat space. Legs can be hips distance apart or wider. Stay with your breathing. Maybe you're coming into balanced breath now. So within our 3-part breath, maybe as you next inhale, you'll count how long that inhalation takes. Maybe it's a count of 4 or 5. Let it be your own count. And then exhaling, balancing or matching that with length of exhalation. Stay here as long as you'd like, knowing that whenever you're ready, bring legs back to center, and we'll make our way into our crescent on the other side. So reaching the legs outward, heel to hip, hip to shoulder alignment, lifting our arms up and overhead. Now we'll move our legs to the left. Feet can be side by side, or maybe our right ankle now is crossing over the left ankle. Our left hand now will grasp onto the right forearm, sliding our body over to the side, the top half of our body, and now we're opening, awakening through our right ribs. So here our gluteals, our heels, gluteals, backs of the shoulders and arms are connected to the mat. Our gaze can be in either direction. If this is uncomfortable for our shoulders, we might be releasing our arms. We really just want our side body to have this beautiful side stretch. Keep the breath smooth. Keep the jaw soft. Softening jaw and shoulders. Keep your awareness inward turned here, coming back to your breathing, practicing that beautiful 3-part or balanced breath. Both are really good choices for the body. Staying here as long as you wish. Maybe if you're ready to come out of this shape, your closed eye gaze can come skyward, aligning your shoulders over your hips, releasing the arms. One leg at a time, we're making our way back to center. And preparing to come into our reclined spinal twist on this side. So we might grab onto our props here. So one option is taking blanket or bolster or towel between the knees, T-shaping our arms. We can release into this twist with our knees further away from the left armpit or maybe closer to it. This would deepen that stretch. Right arm can stay in the T shape, or maybe right arm is draping alongside the right side of the head. Our gaze can be in any direction we'd like, skyward, right, or left. Keep the breath moving. And notice if you can soften your body anywhere. If you float your awareness through your anatomy and you begin to notice some areas of held tension, these are all signs that we're holding on to tension. So we want to invite our breath to soften, to smooth around those spaces. Be curious about any variation of sensation of this side compared to the other side. Not a contest, simply an observation. And whenever you're ready, very gently releasing your gaze skyward. Release any props off to the side, lifting one leg and then the other, coming back to center. Take a moment to pause and realign shoulder to hip, tail to crown alignment. Maybe here our arms are at our sides. We might come into a rolling bridge, peeling the spine. As we inhale, starting with our tailbone, lifting and peeling. Maybe we're keeping that elevation and walking our hands, our arms beneath our hips. Maybe we're clasping our hands. Maybe our palms are facing one another. Keep your breath moving. Stay here as long as you wish, but when you're ready, begin to open the shoulders. Exhale, release the spine down. Preparing to make our way into Shavasana. You can certainly stay where you are and just straighten your legs out for your Shavasana. Another option, if you'd like a heart center opener that's really good for the lungs, is to take your towel or your blanket and just roll it up just enough so it's like like a circle sign with your hands. That's a nice thickness. And we're going to roll onto that support in the space at the back of heart center. So you'll come to your side body, maybe taking your armpit just into that space or beside it. And this is just enough to support an elevation through our heart center. Our arms might be T-shaped alongside us, maybe draping arms up and overhead. Check that your shoulders and hips are in alignment. Legs can be bent. We can walk our heels outward, inviting our inner knees to touch. So constructive rest for the lower half of the body with inner knees touching, kneecaps pointed skyward, or maybe we're straightening our legs outwards. So for some of us, this might be right where we'd like to stay. If your device is within reach, maybe you're just going to turn it off and stay right here and enjoy some constructive rest. Allow your feet to fall out to the sides. If you're staying here with me in this practice, maybe you're taking a towel with some essential oil on it and placing that over your eyes. Maybe you're using an eye pillow. You decide. But allow for your eyes to close, your breath to return to your own natural breath. And gently invite the rise and fall of your breath in your chest. And this is simply our natural breath moving through us now. Nowhere to go and nothing to do, but simply be. To be here now. allowing the back side of the body to soften. The front side body softening. Inviting a feeling of peace and ease through your whole being. And please feel free to stay here as long as you wish, enjoying your practice. If you'd like to complete this with me, maybe you'll circle through your joints, making some motions through your face, reawakening the body. Gently bending the legs, coming onto your side body, very gently supporting your lift back up to a seated position. Legs outstretched, or maybe your legs are coming into a crisscross position. Take a moment to elongate your body. Bring shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders, bringing hands to heart center. So the gesture for our hands is Anjali Mudra, palms pressed inward, thumbs resting at our hearts. If you'd like to join me in one sealing Om, let's inhale together now. Om Shanti, Shanti Peace, Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you tune in for our next session at Wilka Commons. Namaste. Take care. Be healthy and well.